nervous. Don't look at it. It's fine. Hey everyone, I'm just going live with my son. This is my son Andrew, and we just wanted to share a few ideas on how to stay on track. Actually, he's going to share a few ideas, but before he does, I'm going to share a story. So today, I was going over to my friend's house, and I was driving like up towards Purgatory, and I seen somebody walking, and so I assumed he was doing the shame walk. And so, like right away I knew, like, you need to pick him up. And I don't have a problem doing that because I've done this before. So I was getting closer, and I knew to stop, but I didn't. I just kept going. And so then I got that thought again, turn around. And it was like that split second. So there was cars coming, and, you know, I turned around, I went back, and I pulled up next to him, and I was like, do you want to ride? And he was like, yeah, I'll take a ride. And I was like, okay. So I'm like, you better hurry and get in because there's a lot of cars. So he got in, and we started chatting. And I was like, so are you doing the shame walk? And he's like, yeah, I'm doing the shame walk. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And where are you going and whatever. And we got to talking, and, you know, he said some things that were really, well, first of all, I asked him, I said, how long were you in jail for? And he said 90 days. And I was like, oh, so you're sober? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm sober. And then I was like, were you in there for drugs? And he said, yes. And then I was telling him like what my friend and I do, you know, to try to help people. And he said that heroin was his choice of drugs. And so over the last 10 years, he was 28, or he is 28. He said he had, if you're just joining, I'm telling a story about this morning or this afternoon when I was taking a drive, so you'll have to replay it. But he was saying that he's 28, he's been using about 10 years. And I said, oh, so when you went to jail this time, were you high on heroin? And he laughed, and he said high on heroin and a bunch of stuff. And I was like, hey, it happens, you know. And he said his parents died from cancer. And I was like, oh, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. And he said, yeah, and, you know, whatever, but he's clean now. And I was like, well, so how are you staying clean? Like what, tell me what's going on. And he's like, my brother told me that I cannot see my nieces if I don't stay clean. And he has 2 twin nieces that are 2. And he said he's staying clean because it's not a choice. He wants to see his nieces. And so I think in that split moment, if I would have just driven by that guy knowing I had that feeling to stop and not stop, really choked me up. I think how sad that would have been for me, because I had such a great experience talking to him, and I dropped him off at the gas station, and I didn't want to be one of those creepers that I am. And so I was like, hey, can I give you my phone number? And I gave him my name and phone number. And I said, well, if you ever go on Facebook, look me up, and we have a page called Dying for Change. And he's like, yeah. And I said, if you're ever in a hard time, you know, give me a call or text me. And I also extended that, I said, or my friend Justin would be happy to help you too, which I'm guessing he would. But anyways, so.
Hopefully if you're watching the video.
Yeah, I offer your service. But anyways, I don't have his number, so that's just if he called. But, and so my son was just going to share a few things, what helps him stay on track. But he has a story too. And because I'm his mom, I actually asked Justin if he would do the interview. So you're not going to be hearing his story today, but in the next few weeks when him and Justin connect, he'll be doing the interview with him. So he's just touching on what helps him stay on track.
Yeah, so I have I don't know, I used to have, you know, drug problems and a lot of different problems with just drug. But I think for me, the biggest thing that made me get sober and all that was that I actually wanted to change. You know, you start to realize that you need a change in order, otherwise you just can't live your life the way that you were living it. And I'll get more into that when I tell you guys about my story and all that. But what helps me stay on track, what helps me keep doing the right thing is getting myself into a routine, a structure of some sort. You know, you can't just, you know, drug addicts, they do whatever they want, whenever they want, blah, 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 you know. So you got to be in a structure. You know, I wake up at a certain time, I go to sleep at a certain time, I eat certain meals, you know, and I realize keeping yourself inside a routine helps you stay going in the right path. But, you know, you can never get too comfortable where you're at. You should always try to keep succeeding, keep getting higher, because, you know, if you don't, then if you stay at the same level for your whole life, then you don't have there's never change, you never learn anything, you never become better, you never become, and if you never become worse, you know, it's not a good place to stay
To stay stagnant,
yeah, just to say, well, what's the right word? I don't know.
stuck, plateau.
Stuck, yeah, you know,
Plateau?
just say stuck. So I don't know. There's a lot of different things. You know, you got to think about what you want, and because you know some people they don't care. They're just gonna get high no matter what. It doesn't matter what happens. You know, I don't care if I don't see my kids for the rest of my life. I'm gonna keep getting high. But for me, that's not the way it is, and I've known people who that is the way it is. You know, they are just they're so into their addictions that they can't think anything past it. And then once you get out of your addictions, you start to think, man, if I would have stopped it, if I would have stopped doing it a few months earlier, I could have understood this, or I could have done this or that, you know. So it's kind of it's whatever works for you. Because I mean, if you could get sober, stay sober, and you just got to stay sober. You know, that's the best thing is just to stay sober. So whatever keeps you sober is what's right for you. There's no wrong or right way. There's no this you have to do it for yourself. You can't do it for anybody else. Now, ultimately, you know, there's a lot of things I agree with, but once you realize you need the change, then things will start changing. But you got to commit. You can't you know half-ass it. You got to really actually do what you need to do. Yeah, you know, work hard, play hard type deal. So,
Do you think it makes a difference, like who you hang around?
yeah, I think the who you hang around, the music you listen to has a lot to do with it.
You do?
A lot of people don't realize that, you know, but when you're, you know, doing drugs, slinging drugs, and you're listening to nothing but songs about guys doing all this stuff and blah, 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 next thing you know, you're doing the same stuff that the guy's rapping about, you know, or the guy's doing this about, you know, so music, some people don't realize that, but music has an awesome, yeah, hey, thank you very much, but yeah, music has huge play in your life, and people don't realize that, you know, but it does, and it desensitizes you if you listen to the wrong music. You know, you'll be listening to, you know, this guy did this and gang banged on this fool and blah blah blah, you know, and all that stuff, and then it's just that stuff you get desensitized, and violence is like whatever, you know, violence is violence, you know, sex is whatever, this is that, and that, so then, you know, I think something that ruins and that makes people the idea of what your life's supposed to be is what ruins a lot of people's lives, because they think, oh, I got to have the big house, I got to do this, I got to do that, and no one knows what your life's supposed to be because you're living your own life, you know, so you go do your own journey, you do what you want to do, but a lot of people think they have this fixated, I need a bunch of cash to be happy, or I need this to be happy, or I need this or this, when really you don't need anything. If you could be happy by yourself, then, you know, you'll be, if you're happy, you're homeless, you know, then you're happy, you know, you got to be happy, otherwise it's just, you have to have a good balance of everything, I've realized, and you know.
The older you get.
Yeah, the older I get, and you know,
He's 19.
Yeah, I'm only 19, but I don't know. You know, some people they're able to balance, you know, certain addictions and stuff like that, and I can't. I'm not the type of person. When I start doing whatever, usually 9 out of 10 times I'll go back and start doing it again and all day every day. You know, and you can't let something live your life for you. You got to live your own life. So.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, thank you for sharing. Is there anything else you wanted to share?
No.
Nothing else?
Nope.
No, maybe.
Besides,
no?
go Raiders, Raider Nation.
Oh, no. He didn't say that. Well, thank you guys for watching us, and I hope that you guys are doing well. And if anyone feels inspired to go live and do a live with myself or Andrea or Justin, we would love for you to send us a message and let us know. We could do it if you're in another state. Justin totally knows how to do this now, so we could do it live if you're in other states, or we could meet up. But we would love to hear more stories, because that's how we learn and that's how we help. And I just want to end with this. Like I was telling you the story about the guy that I picked up today. I told him, I said, you know what? I don't know why I get choked up. That's why I can never interview you. I'd be crying the whole time. I said, you know what? I hope that when my son is doing, or like he has done the shame walk, and I was out of town, so I couldn't pick him
like
up.
7 or 8 miles I had to walk back
Yeah,
home from jail.
so he did the shame walk, and I was out of town, so no one picked him up. He walked. But I said, you know what? I hope that somebody does the same thing. Like what I do for other people is what I want people to do for my kids. And I've seen it over and over. Like people have done amazing stuff for my kids, and it just means so much to me. And so I think if we just all share and we all just do what we want done unto ourselves, the dogs agree, or unto our kids. I just think that's like an awesome way to live. Sorry, the dogs. When dogs go by, they bark. All right, well, I guess we'll end on that note. Just if you do want to share your story or share a trick or a tip, let us know. Thank you guys. We love you, and we hope you stay on track. Have a good night.
Thank you.
And look for Andrew and Justin. They'll be doing a live interview sometime in the near future.
Yes, we will.
Okay, bye.
Bye.